Good morning, St. Philip's. It's good to be here with you again. This is Father Richard, our video visit for every week. And I want to talk to you a little bit about, I've been doing a lot of thinking about the church and, of course, Davidson County, where we are located, is going through these phases. We have a couple calendars that kind of exist side by side in regard to rebounding, as they call it. We've got a civic calendar, which puts us through phases, phase 1, 2, 3, 4. How many people can gather together at one time, what kind of businesses can be open, that sort of thing. And then we have our diocesan calendar, their recommendations as to when we can do that. So, we've got a lot of things to balance and consider as we think about that. I've heard from a lot of people saying, we'd love to get back together, but we also are in no hurry. So, noted. And I would ask you to pray for the vestry of this church and pray for the leadership of this church who will be considering some of those things. There are already churches in this diocese that are meeting together in person, not hundreds of people meeting at the same time, but are taking some tentative steps to doing that. So churches are they're at all different places with that. And so those are some of the things that the vestry and leadership will be considering over the next little while. So again, be praying for them. The philosopher Blaise Pascal, who I haven't read a whole lot of, but he wrote this a couple hundred years ago. He had his pithy quote here is, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." I'm going to repeat that because it's sort of profound. So this is Blaise Pascal. And he wrote this in his memoir called Pensées, which means thoughts in French. French philosopher. He wrote, "All of humanity's problems stem from man or woman's ability to sit quietly in a room alone." I really think there's a lot of truth in that. We are so used to being distracted in our culture all the time by so many different things. And one of the things that this quarantine and pandemic has done has slowed us down considerably. And given us lots of time maybe to sit alone in a room with just ourselves for company. So it's a good time to take a deep breath and reevaluate our relationship with Jesus, and without a lot of distractions. The end of the gospel is not regular attendance at church, although that's important. And we'll get back to that at some point. Pray for the leadership of this church. But the end of the gospel is not regular church attendance. That's a lovely thing. But the end of the gospel is relationship. It's a relationship with Christ, relationship with each other, and God's reconciling mission to reconcile us to Him and reconcile us to one another. And so that's important. So as we have time, perhaps more time on our hands and in our calendars to do that sort of reflection, theological reflection and personal reflection, I think that can be helpful to us. I wish you all well, God's grace, love, and peace as we shelter in place and shelter in grace. And I will see you soon. Amen.